This flowchart, which is there in your textbook, gives us an overview of how lipids, that is fats, carbohydrates, and proteins are eventually broken down to give us carbon dioxide, water, and energy. We know that fats get broken down to fatty acids in our stomach. Similarly, carbohydrates get broken down into glucose. So here I feel it should be glucose, not glycolysis. Okay, and proteins get broken down into amino acids. This takes place in our alimentary canal. Finally, all these three simple forms are then taken to every cell in our body through the bloodstream, and amino acids are then converted into acetyl coenzyme A in the mitochondria, whereas here we should have glucose. Glucose gets converted into pyruvic acid by the process of glycolysis. So glycolysis should be written somewhere here instead. And pyruvic acid then gets finally broken down during conversion stage into acetyl coenzyme A, which then enters the Krebs cycle to eventually give carbon dioxide, water vapor and energy. Same way, fatty acids which are there, they get converted into acetyl coenzyme A in the mitochondria, and then further by the Krebs cycle it gets broken down into carbon dioxide, water and energy. So all in all, we can see that whether it is fats or carbohydrates or proteins, all of them can be broken down to give out carbon dioxide, water vapor and energy. Though primarily first carbohydrates get used up. If there are no carbohydrates, then the fats get used up. And if our body still doesn't have, wants to produce energy but doesn't have carbohydrates and lipids, eventually proteins are broken down. The second flowchart in your book also is telling us how glucose gets broken down to produce energy anaerobically when there is no oxygen. Okay, so glucose gets broken down by the process called glycolysis into pyruvic acid. The pyruvic acid further undergoes fermentation to produce various products. Sometimes through fermentation it can produce alcohols. Generally yeast act on sugar syrups or maybe grape juice to produce wine and alcohols. Sometimes some fermented products formed by other microbes can give us vinegar and some other vitamins, etc. And in our muscle cells and in the red blood cells, with the help of fermentation, the pyruvic acid gets converted to lactic acid. So these flowcharts are important, they could be asked. Here are some points about proteins which from the textbook I felt they were important for you to know. We know the proteins are formed when many amino acids join together to form large macromolecules, and after digestion the proteins get converted back into these tiny units, simple units called amino acids, and then they are taken to every cell in our body. Once they are inside our cells, these amino acids can get rearranged to form various kinds of proteins that our body requires. Now, from where do we get our proteins? From the food that we eat, that is animals as well as plant bodies. Where do plants get their amino acids? So plants produce amino acids from mineral called de novo, a mineral in the ground. Sorry. The enzyme Rubisco present in the chloroplast is the most abundant protein found in nature. So it's a nice, like a general knowledge that you can get here. And proteins of animal origin are also called first class proteins. So I'll end over here.